What's going on, everybody? It's Bogo Sports here, and I'm coming back to you guys with a different kind of video than you may usually expect on my channel. I've become a huge tennis fan recently, so I'll preface that and say I'm still getting into it. So, you're kind of following along with me here, but I wanted to make my US Open's men's singles predictions here. As you can see, I X out a lot of different matchups. I'm not going to go through every single one. First of all, because I don't know all these guys, but also it would take way too long. So I just highlighted certain players who I think are going to go far, and I picked the brackets. We're going to go through them. So you kind of can see everything, but I'll start up here. I have Casper Ruud advancing through the first couple of rounds. The next notable guy is Taylor Fritz, the American. As you can see, I have him going pretty far. So I do have him advancing. Holger Rune versus a very good matchup here that could happen in the third round versus Musetti, who got bronze at the Olympics. I do have Musetti going very far in this tournament. I think he's going to continue to build momentum off of that finish, as well as the semifinal at the Wimbledon. So I have a sweet matchup in round 3. That's one to watch out for. And I have Musetti winning that and advancing. Down below here, the next guy is Zverev, who I think is going to make a really good run this tournament. And so I have him winning and advancing to match up with Musetti, as well as Casper Ruud in the fourth round versus Taylor Fritz. And so I have Fritz getting an upset in that one. Casper Ruud hasn't had the best form recently, and I think Fritz could do it. I'm picking him as an American to go far. And then as you can see here, you can see my thought process. At first I picked Zverev, then I went with Musetti, then I went back to Zverev. I really did want to go with Musetti here, but I think Zverev is going to, like I said, make a really good push. He played well recently against Sinner, and I think in Cincinnati he pushed, I think it was a 3-set match. I'm going to pick Zverev to win this match and then beat Fritz to go to the semifinal. As you can see, you can already see my pick there, but it's okay. We're going to just go through this. Okay, Rublev, who's been playing well recently. He made it to the final of Montreal. I really thought he should have won that. Rublev, I got him advancing pretty far. Not a ton going on here. Dimitrov, I have him winning. I have Shelton winning in the first round in a matchup against, a Grand Slam winner. So I do think Shelton's going to get it done. The youth and the fact that he's playing in his home country. I have Shelton advancing versus Thiem. Tiafoe, I have him winning. He just made the final of Cincinnati. Popyrin, Alexei Popyrin, he just won in Montreal. So I have him, being a presence here in this tournament. And then Djokovic in the first round, he's going to win in advance, obviously. So this matchup's definitely, I started one to watch. This could be a tough matchup for Djokovic, but I have him winning and advancing. Shelton versus Tiafoe, US versus US. I have Shelton winning that, despite Tiafoe's good form. And we get an awesome rematch of Shelton and Djokovic, and I think Djokovic will hang up the phone on Shelton again and advance to face Rublev, who beats Dimitrov. And in this matchup, I would have Djokovic beating Rublev. And so the semifinal in this portion of the bracket I have is Zverev versus Djokovic, and I have Djokovic winning that match and advancing to the final. Okay. Bear with me. Don't want to spoil my champion. Kind of doing this on the fly here. That's one side of the bracket. So let me know what you thought of my picks there and who you have. Then on this side, we have the first matchup over here. I have Sinner obviously advancing. And Mickelson, who's been playing very well and actually pushed Sinner fairly well recently. Sorry, let me adjust the camera. So that could be a good matchup in the second round. But I am going to pick Sinner to advance. As we go down here, we have Tommy Paul, another American favorite. And he's facing Sonego. And Sonego's been playing very well. So I know a lot of people are picking him. But I am going to pick Tommy Paul to win that and advance. Tsitsipas, I have him advancing. Aliassime, I have him winning to face and going on to face Tsitsipas, and I actually have him winning that. He was in a bronze medal match in the Olympics, and I think he can keep it going here. Moving down a little bit, Medvedev, not performing very well recently, but I do think he's going to turn it around this tournament. As you can see, I have him going pretty far, so I'm going to pick Medvedev to go face Algier Aliassim, and I have him winning that to face Sinner in the quarterfinal. As we move along, the big man, Alcaraz, I have him advancing, and he will be facing off against Sebastian Korda, who's been playing amazing recently, the American as well. So a couple Americans I have gone pretty far. Maybe wishful thinking, but I really, really like Korda. I'm actually probably the highest on his chances to go far. Maybe Fritz. I don't know. Fritz or Korda, but I have Korda advancing to face Alcaraz in the fourth round. De Minaur, who has not played since Wimbledon due to injury, so that's somewhat interesting and troubling if you're a fan of his. But I do have him advancing to the first couple of rounds to face Hubie Hurkacz, and I have Hurkacz winning that because he's also coming off injury, a knee injury, I think, but he's played more recently. So I think that familiarity will help him, and he'll be a little bit fresher and more prepared for these tough matchups. And I have him facing Alcaraz, who advances past Korda. I think, like I said, Korda could give trouble to Alcaraz, but, I mean, they're on a different tier. So, ultimately, if he's 100%, Alcaraz should win that match. And I'll come back to that if he's 100%. Alcaraz versus Hurkacz, and I have Alcaraz winning that to face Sinner. And this is a matchup we all want to see in the semifinal, to go on and face Djokovic in the final. And as you can see, I picked Alcaraz at first, and then I went with Sinner. Some interesting stuff going on here with both of these guys. Sinner has the whole doping scandal, which it is a little bit interesting and potentially suspect. That story just sounds like a lot of moving parts had to happen for him to get that in a way where he didn't actually take the drug, but I don't think he did it. I really am a big fan of Sinner, and I don't think he's being dishonest or taking steroids or in any way. And the court of law, I guess, in this tennis world agrees with that opinion of mine. So I guess they're the real truth in that situation. And then there's Alex, so that's weighing on him at least. That's a big story. And even he said it's not ideal timing, but I think he's also said that it's kind of a weight off his shoulders now. So we'll see if that really affects his play. I don't think it will, but it's definitely a storyline to keep an eye on. And then Alcaraz, there's the Olympic storyline of, that was a very tough loss for him. Maybe the biggest loss of his career so far, and the first big loss that he suffered. And then in the Cincinnati tournament, his first round loss where he smashed the racket for the first time. I mean, so there's some interesting mental stuff with Alcaraz. And then on top of that, I think he hurt his ankle the other day, and he hasn't practiced as much heading into this tournament, or he stopped his practice that day. So for those reasons, I'm going to go with Sinner here. I like both of these guys. These are two of my favorites. And I think I'm going to go with Sinner. I think, especially coming off his victory in Cincinnati, I think his confidence is going to be there. And that could be the biggest deciding factor, whereas Alcaraz may not have his top confidence coming off of some interesting losses and potentially an injury. So here we go. The final, I have Djokovic versus Sinner. And my champion is going to be Djokovic. A lot of people may say, hey, what does he have to play for anymore? He's basically completed it all. But I think this guy is just ultra competitive, like the best athletes in other sports, like Kobe and Jordan and Tom Brady. I think he just wants to win. He wants to compete. He wants to stay at the top for as long as possible with all these young guys coming up. And I think he's going to be ultra motivated coming off his loss at the Australian Open to Sinner. So I think he's going to come in refreshed from the Olympics and looking to add that 25th Grand Slam title, as well as his knee could be, naturally only with time improving. So for all those reasons, I think he's going to get it done over Sinner. And those are my predictions for the U.S. Open. So I'm super pumped to watch this. Please let me know who you guys think is going to win the Open, who you think is going to be in the semifinals, quarterfinals, what picks you agree with, what picks you don't agree with. I'd love to hear all those. A little bit different format of a video, like I said, but hopefully you guys enjoyed and I could share some of my opinions with you guys, and we'll see if I'm right. But I would love if it shook out this way, because I would love to see Alcaraz Sinner. I would love to see, honestly, like a lot of these matchups, but Shelton Djokovic would be a great matchup. Djokovic Zverev would be good. Musetti Zverev, I would love to see that match in the U.S. Open. I'd love to see Medvedev get back to form. And yeah, like I said, I'd like to see Korda make a nice run. And I would like to see Taylor Fritz or Tommy Paul make a nice run as well. So some Americans, some young matchups, Djokovic and some big time matchups. That's what we all want to see. So hopefully these things come to fruition. And yeah, I guess if I had to pick a sleeper, it's Musetti. I'm potentially going to regret not picking him. But even if I picked him, I think Djokovic would beat him, especially the way he handled him at the Olympics. He kind of just broke him down as the match went on. So those are my picks. I got Djokovic winning the U.S. Open and just further cementing his GOAT status. Please let me know what you guys think and enjoy the tournament.